NASA did not set out to find an interstellar object from Mars' orbit. There was no mission briefing, no secret observation plan, no telescope waiting for a visitor from another star. And that is exactly why this discovery matters, because 3I/Atlas was not found by intention, it was found by accident, by geometry, and by machines that never stop looking. When people imagine space discovery, they picture telescopes pointed deliberately at the sky, scientists waiting for something specific. But real breakthroughs rarely happen that way. They happen when instruments built for one purpose catch something they were never meant to see. Mars' orbit is a perfect example of this. NASA's orbiters circle the red planet to study its surface, atmosphere, and long-term evolution. They look down, not outward. Yet space does not respect mission boundaries. Light enters sensors whether it belongs to Mars or not, and one day a signal appeared that did not fit. It was subtle, just a faint streak of reflected sunlight moving far faster than anything bound to Mars. Too fast to be a moon, too straight to be debris, too clean to be noise. At first, nothing about it screamed interstellar, but the speed was wrong, the direction was wrong, and most importantly, the motion did not curve the way solar system objects do. This is the key idea you need to understand. Objects born in the solar system move along predictable paths shaped by the sun's gravity. Even comets from the distant Oort cloud still fall inward on curved trajectories. But 3I/Atlas did not curve, it cut through, almost like it didn't care the sun was there at all. That was the first red flag. The second was timing. Earth-based telescopes were poorly positioned when the object entered the inner solar system. Mars was not. From Mars' orbit, the viewing angle was clean, atmospheric distortion was non-existent, and the geometry allowed sensors to pick up faint motion that Earth simply could not see at that moment. This is not luck, this is orbital mechanics. Mars happened to be in the right place at the right time, and NASA's orbiters, doing their routine work, captured data that shouldn't have existed according to mission plans. That is the moment the story begins, not with certainty, not with headlines, but with a quiet mismatch between expectation and reality. A mismatch that forced scientists to ask a dangerous question. What if this object didn't come from here at all? Understanding how NASA actually captured 3I/ATLS requires understanding how space missions really work. Orbiters don't just take pictures, they collect streams of data constantly. Every pixel, every photon, every wavelength is logged, time-stamped, and compared against years of prior observations. This is where the accident became a discovery. When analysts reviewed the anomalous streak, they did not look at it in isolation. They compared it to everything Mars' orbit had ever seen, and it didn't match anything. The object appeared across multiple instruments. A high-resolution camera registered a faint linear trace. A thermal sensor noticed a tiny spike inconsistent with Mars or its environment. An ultraviolet instrument detected scattered light where none should be. Each signal alone was meaningless. Together, they formed confirmation. This is critical. NASA does not declare discoveries from single sensors. Correlation is everything. When independent instruments agree, physics becomes unavoidable. Once the signals were correlated, scientists reconstructed the object's motion. This is where the math became uncomfortable. The calculated velocity exceeded what the sun could capture. Even after accounting for gravitational acceleration, the object was moving too fast. That means it entered the solar system already energized, already moving on a hyperbolic trajectory. That single word changes everything. Hyperbolic means unbound. It means this object was never part of the solar system and never will be. It came in, passed through, and left. Then Earth-based surveys confirmed it. The Atlas system detected the same object from Earth days later, but by then Mars had already seen it first. This allowed something unprecedented.
2-point observation, one from Earth, one from Mars' orbit. With that, scientists could triangulate its path with extreme precision. The result was undeniable. 3I ATLS was interstellar. But the real shock wasn't just where it came from, it was how close it passed to Mars without anyone planning for it. If the orbiters had been pointed slightly differently, if data compression had filtered it out, if timing had been off by minutes, the object would have slipped through unnoticed. No announcement, no name, no third interstellar visitor. That realization changed the conversation because it meant something profound. Interstellar objects are not rare because they don't exist. They are rare because we miss them. And Mars' orbit, unintentionally, proved that our detection net is full of holes.
Once 3I Atlas was confirmed as interstellar, scientists faced a second problem: explaining its behavior. And this is where the object refused to cooperate. It didn't behave like Oumuamua. It didn't behave like Borisov. It behaved like something older and more exhausted. Its surface was extremely dark, suggesting millions of years of cosmic radiation exposure. That alone implies a long interstellar journey. But beneath that surface, the object still showed signs of activity. Weak, irregular outgassing, subtle non-gravitational acceleration, not chaotic, but steady. That combination should not exist. Over millions of years in interstellar space, volatile ices should be destroyed. Cosmic rays break molecular bonds. Solar heating from passing stars strips surfaces clean. And yet, 3I Atlas still carried something inside. Mars orbit instruments played a key role here. Ultraviolet sensors detected faint emissions inconsistent with typical solar system comets. Thermal data showed uneven heating across the object's surface. Some regions warmed quickly, others stayed cold. That points to internal structure, cavities, fractures, possibly a porous, loosely bound body rather than a solid rock. Light curve analysis added another layer. The object was tumbling, not rotating cleanly, but wobbling without a stable axis. That suggests it may be a fragment of a larger body, something shattered long ago and thrown into interstellar space. Its inbound velocity supports that idea. This was not a gentle ejection. It was violent, possibly from a young planetary system undergoing chaos, or from a dying star shedding mass and destabilizing its planets. When scientists traced the object's path backward, they couldn't link it to any nearby star. The origin may no longer exist, a system erased by time. That makes 3I Atlas more than a visitor. It is a relic, a fragment of a planetary history that ended millions of years ago. And Mars' orbit gave us a front-row seat not to its birth, but to its survival. This is the real value of the discovery, not mystery for mystery's sake, but evidence. Evidence that planetary systems across the galaxy are constantly shedding pieces of themselves. Evidence that the space between stars is not empty. It is filled with debris from worlds that failed, evolved, or were destroyed. And we are only just beginning to notice them. As 3I/Atlas moved away from Mars and deeper toward the Sun, the window closed quickly. Interstellar objects do not linger. Their paths are fast, their opportunities brief. Mars orbiters captured only a fraction of its journey, but that fraction changed how NASA thinks about observation. Mars became something new, not just a destination, but a platform, a second set of eyes in the solar system, free from Earth's atmosphere, free from its viewing limitations, positioned where geometry sometimes favors discovery. This matters for the future, because 3I/Atlas proved that Earth is not always the best place to watch the universe. Sometimes the best view comes from another world. Future interstellar detections may come first from Mars, Venus, or even outer planet orbiters, not because we plan it, but because space is unpredictable. The deeper lesson is unsettling.
How many interstellar objects have already passed through unnoticed? How many fragments of lost worlds slipped by before we had the machines to see them? 3i/Atlas was caught because Mars happened to be there, because sensors happened to be active, because data happened to be preserved. That is not comforting, it is humbling. It means the universe is constantly intersecting with our solar system, whether we are ready or not. And sometimes we only notice when everything aligns perfectly. In the end, 3i/Atlas did not bring answers, it brought perspective. It showed that our solar system is not isolated. It is part of a galactic flow of material. Worlds form, worlds break, fragments wander, and occasionally one crosses our path. Mars, silent and lifeless, became the witness. NASA's orbiters became historians, and humanity caught a brief glimpse of a story that began long before Earth existed and will continue long after we are gone. Not because we planned it, but because the universe allowed it.